I still use this exact gear list every time before I go out on an outdoor adventure. Hi everyone, I'm Mike and welcome to Outdoor Adventuring Gear. Today's video is going to be on 5 tips to ensure that you have a good time the next time you go on your camping trip. Now, although this video is kind of oriented toward novices or people with that intermediate skill set, I think there's something from this video for everyone, even to the most advanced hiker or backpacker. I personally use this every time I go out in the woods. It's one I made for myself and I'm pretty sure a lot of people could benefit from it. So here we go. Now, number 1 on this list is research the area where you're going to be. I personally, when I'm out, every time I like to research the area by going on Google Maps. I'll check out where it's located. I'll save the directions on my phone, which Google Maps now allows you to do. And I also print them out just in case when you're really out in the woods or really out deep in the back country that you can find your way back out, because we all know that when you're that deep in, GPS does not follow you. And many times I've had to drive out. In my beginning days, I'd had to drive out until I got GPS signal again. So first I would recommend printing or saving your directions to where you'll be. Number 2 is check the amenities that are going to be available in the area you go. You want to check whether these places offer firewood or they offer porta potties. Are there going to be security from where your car is going to be parked? These are things you should know ahead of time because I've researched some areas when I've went on long backpacking trips where cars have been broken or vandalized where they were parked. And porta potties, you want to make sure that if you're not comfortable using the bathroom in the woods, that they offer that for you. Another thing you'll want to include on your research when you're planning your trip is what the weather's going to be like when you're there. I personally don't like backpacking or camping when temperature gets above 85 degrees. Some people do. Some people don't like it when it's going to rain. Some people don't like it when it's cloudy. But please make sure you check these things before you go, because they'll play a big role in your time there out in the woods. Okay, so now you've done your research on where you're going to go. You've done your research on where it's located, you've done your research on the weather, and also what amenities they might offer as far as bathrooms or firewood. The next one you're going to do is make a gear list. Number 2 is absolutely important because you don't want to forget anything. Usually all of us at one time, even the most seasoned vet, has forgot something and they have a story to tell about it later. So 2, make a gear list. Now, when I make my gear list, it's usually brought into 3 categories. 1 is food, whatever you're going to be eating or enjoying while you're there, and this includes refreshments. 2, I call this my medical list, which is everything I need for personal or emergencies, right down to sometimes tweezers in case I get a splinter, ibuprofen or acetaminophen in case I get a headache or I get an injury. And number 3 is your actual gear, whether you're going to need a tent, a sleeping bag, sleeping pad, a grill, a chair, everything you're going to need that you think you're going to want to use on your trip. Please make a gear list. This will become invaluable later when you're there. You don't want to get out deep into the woods where you've invested all this time and all this energy to get to the place you're at. You set up for the night and realize you forgot one of your tent poles. That is no fun. We've all done it. We've all forgot it. Even a list sometimes, well, you'll forget to put it on your list. But number 2 is very important. Make that gear list. Now, you've done your research on where you're going. You've made your gear list. The third thing you need to do is be familiar and test all the gear you're going to take with you. If you've bought a new tent, make sure you know how to put it together before you get out in the woods. It's not too hard, guys. Take the time. You're going to appreciate it later. Test out any other new gear you have. Test your sleeping bags. Sometimes that sleeping bag might not be what you need where you're going. If you're camping someplace where, let's say, the temperatures are going to be down maybe 30 degrees and you have a sleeping bag that you didn't research or didn't check that was only temped down to about 50 degrees, you're going to have one cold and miserable night. So please check all the gear that you're going to be taking with you. Test it, be familiar with it, make sure you understand it and how to use it. Okay, now things are rolling. You've researched the area, you feel comfortable where you're going to go. 2, you've made your gear list of all the stuff you're going to take with you. 3, you've tested that gear, went through it and checked it and make sure it's appropriate for where you're going to be. Now 4, although this is something that you're going to have to do with people around you, number 4, let people know where you're going to be. Trust me, guys, this is something that is very important. You want to have a good time, but things do pop up when you're out there in the backcountry. You could have an injury. Your car might not start. You might get lost. You might not be able to show up the next day because you can't find your way back to camp. Always let someone you know someone who you care about, or someone who cares about you, let them know where you're going to be. Give them a GPS of where you're going to be and also a printed map. This will be invaluable as always when you're lost and on your own somewheres that you're by yourself. Also, letting someone know where you are in the woods sometimes can give you a little mental release, stress release when you're out in the woods, realizing that if something does go wrong, your friends or family know exactly where you are and help could be just a phone call away. All right, we're rolling along. The list is doing good. All right, you've researched the area you're going to go. 2, you made your gear list. 3, you've checked the gear. You've went all through it. 4, you've let people know where you're going to be, just in case that emergency pops up. Now, number 5 is something we all should know from the beginner to the advanced. I don't care how long you've been out in the woods or if it's your first time walking down a trail. When you're going to go camping or when you're going to go backpacking and you're going to be out in nature by yourself or with loved ones who are depending on you, please, number 5, be honest with yourself about your skill set. A lot of people watch a lot of movies or a lot of TV shows and think, hey, I can do that. If you haven't done these things, please be honest with yourself. Being alone or being deep in the backcountry is no place you should find out, hey, I don't know how to start a fire, or I've gotten lost, I don't know my way back to the trail. Be honest with your skill set. Me, personally, I don't like hot temperatures. I don't go camping when it's 85 degrees or above. That ruins my time and makes me not have a good time when I'm out in the woods. So that's my skill set weakness, I know. Be comfortable with what you're going to be doing. If you're going to be camping in a state park or a state forest where people are going to know where you're at, maybe you're going to a state park and you're not very good at starting fires or gathering wood. You might want to know that that park offers firewood, either at a cost or free of charge. But please make sure you're honest with yourself about your skill set. Not only if you're going by yourself, but if you're going with loved ones, not only are you putting yourself in a bad situation, you could be putting them into a bad situation as well. So here we go. It's not that hard, guys. 1, research the area you're going to go. 2, make a gear list. 3, test that gear list to make sure you're familiar with everything that's on it. 4, let people you know where you're going to be. And 5, be honest with yourself about your skill set. If you take all of these steps into account before your next outdoor adventure, I can pretty much guarantee you'll have a good time. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, go have an adventure, guys.